Hey YouTube, Kieran6 here. Bringing out the deck profile update for X-Sabers. So here we go. Starting out with monsters, I run 2 double X-Saber Guard Strike. Basically the Saber Drain of the deck. He can be special summoned when you control no monsters, and you have 2 or more X-Sabers in your grave. So 2100 beat stick, basically. One of the main tuners, 3 X-Saber Arabellum. Basically easily accessible through Rescue Cat, gets full troll out pretty easily, but with the release of Boggart Knight, full troll is even more easier to get out, but I don't really have Boggart Knights right now. I'm trying to get 2 Boggart Knights through a trade, so yeah, and if you guys have any Boggart Knights, feel free to hit me up, because I kind of need 2 of them. Yeah, so that's it. And when this thing inflicts spell damage, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Next up, 3 double X-Saber full troll. Basically gets the Gotham's hand instruction loop going. Basically requires 2 full trolls and 1 Raigura, and Gotham's of course. It basically depletes your opponent's entire hand, so your opponent's pretty much helpless unless they draw a miracle card. And yeah, you can only special summon him when you have 2 or more X-Sabers on the field. And this guy's pretty easy to get out since Boggart Knight was released. So yep, that's pretty much it for full troll. And of course full troll can bring back level 4 lower X-Saber from the grave. I run 2 double X-Saber Fulham Knights, basically 1 turn negation of an attack and level 3 tuner. His second effect doesn't really come into play because he can't really run over, you know, most monsters since he's only got 1300 attack. So yeah. But other than that, his only use is pretty much for synchro summoning and negating 1 attack while he's face up on the field. Next up, I run 2 double X-Saber Garson. Might knock this thing down to 1 once I get 2 Boggart Knights, because I mean, he's pretty good. Comes onto the field at 1600, so he is susceptible to Bottomless Trap Hole. And yeah, if Bottomless Trap Hole activates on him, he doesn't get his effect because he has to be sent to the graveyard, not removed from play. So yeah, that's the only bad thing about it. So that's why I'm probably going to knock this thing down to 1 when I get 2 Boggart Knights. I don't know what else to replace, I'm still thinking though. But I'm definitely taking out 1 Garson for 1 Boggart Knight. Next up, 2 Raigura, double X-Saber Raigura. Again, like I mentioned with full troll, basically, you know, starts the Gotham's hand destruction loop. So yeah, no other point really. I mean, it does help with getting full troll out when you use 1 for 1, discarding full troll, especially on Raigura, and then you get full troll back. Next up, 2 Raikou, Lightsworn Hunter. Helps with the milling to get a card strike out. Depends on your luck really. I usually use this to get rid of back rows, sometimes monsters that are, you know, hard to get rid of, like Marshmallow or Spirit Reaper, but mostly back rows. Rescue Cat, only purpose is to tribute to get 2 Arabellums, sometimes an Arabellum or Raikou, depending on the situation. Gorse, OTK Stopper, Cyber Dragon staple since it went back to 2. Card Trooper helps with the milling again. I try not to mill too much with Card Trooper because it's an optional effect, but you know, if I have to run over my opponent's monsters, I might just have to mill. Hopefully I get, you know, good mills. Most of the time I get bad mills, but you know, all works out in the end. Second to last monster, Sangan, searches out your, you know, monsters, pretty much. I usually search out Full Home Knight, depending on the situation, I might search out something else. Summon Monk to get out Rescue Cat, Arabellum or Full Home Knight to synchro up for Arc Knight to blow up 2 cards. So that's it for monsters. It's already 4 minutes for monsters. Alright, on to spells. Run 2 Book of Moon. I should probably run 3, but I don't really have a 3rd one to spare. So yeah, basically stops a lot of things. Stops attacks, synchro summons, effects from activating, etc. You know, all that good stuff. Staple, Lightning Vortex. 1 for 1. Basically discard Full Troll to get Raigura. Pot of Avarice to recycle monsters. 1 Smashing. It's pretty good nowadays since it went back to 3, so everyone should pretty much main 1 nowadays. Heavy Storm, staple. MST, staple. Trinade gets around Starlight Road, and you know, you could actually use this to your advantage because when you have Gotham's on the field, and if you got the Gotham's hand destruction loop going, use Giant Trinade to put all those spells and traps back into your opponent's hand, and then just use Gotham's hand destruction effect using the loop just to get rid of every single one of those cards. So pretty much screws up your opponent's strategies pretty nicely. Saber Slash, very good card actually. I don't really actually use it a lot with Garsum, but if you do manage to use it with Garsum, it's very, very good. So yeah. Brain Control, staple. Mind Control, staple, and synchro-based decks. Alright, that's it for spells. On to traps. Staple nowadays, 2-dimensional prison since it was reprinted. It's pretty much, played in like every deck now. It gets around Stardust effect, but has its downsides. Well, actually not really any downside aside from it being able to be negated. Staple to Bottomless Truffle. Yeah, no explanation really necessary. 2 Saber Hole, basically mini Solemn, negates any summon, any sort of summon, any type of summon, as long as you have an X-Saber on the field, which is really not that hard to fulfill, since X-Sabers swarm pretty easily. Torrential, very good card. If your opponent mind controls or brain controls your Garsum, and wants to use it as synchro material, just torrential their tuner whenever they summon it. So yeah, and you also get Garsum's effect since it goes back to your graveyard, so the owner activates it. Dust Shoot ends games. Force, staple. 1-Shot Road. Negates Mass Destruction, Heavy Storm, Icarus Attack, Vortex, etc. And I run only 1 Gom's Mercy Call. If I ever, make a side deck, I'll probably side a second one. I don't really like the idea of running more than 2, because that becomes dead draws for the most part. But if you mill a lot, and mill good, then yeah, it's good. On to Synchros, pretty much staple. Synchros, 2 Stardust, 1 Black Rose, Bryanak, Cataster. Mistworm is very possible to summon actually. Well, it does need 2 non-tuners though, so yeah. Arcanine to blow up stuff, but mainly for defense though. Goyo, just to steal your opponent's monsters for either synchro material or just defense. Guy Knight. If I ever get a Hyunlei, I'll probably replace Guy Knight with Hyunlei, but as of right now I don't really have a Hyunlei, so yeah. To a Colossal Fighter, I barely use this guy anymore. It's like nobody even uses this guy anymore, but he's good at times. And finally, 3 double X-Saber Gotems, the main synchro for X-Sabers as of right now. So yeah, that's basically it for the deck. Remember to like the video, comment below if you guys want to, subscribe with the white button up there, and yeah. Any suggestions would be very nice. I know I should be running Solemn, but I'm always very, very hesitant about even running Solemn because it's such a risky card. I know it can change, the game, but playing Solemn is very risky in my opinion. And yeah, so that's pretty much the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have a few more videos up very, very soon. So yeah, that's all for now. Kira Mount 6 out. Peace.